The next generation of racing is here. Hello, I'm Lee Diffie from Speed, and welcome to iRacing.com, an innovative PC-based simulation service that allows you to climb into a virtual race car and compete head-to-head against thousands of other racers, starting with rookies to top-level pros from all over the world. At the core of the iRacing service is the most accurate and sophisticated racing simulation software ever created, and it's so good that professional racers swear by it as a training tool. Drivers like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Justin Wilson, AJ Allmendinger and Alex Gurney, and many of them compete frequently in iRacing's online race series. But iRacing isn't just a training tool for the professionals. It's the basis of a new branch of motorsport, making the fun and excitement of real-time, professionally sanctioned racing available to everyone. iRacing offers unlimited seat time for a lot less money than you spend each month on your phone bill. And you don't need high-tech equipment or a computer engineering degree to get started. All you need is a reasonably current personal computer, a PC-compatible wheel and pedal set that you can buy online or at your local electronics store for less than $100. And finally, a broadband internet connection. iRacing's easy-to-use web-based service includes a quick start guide that makes it simple to download the software and start racing. Once you're in, you're away. iRacing has a wide variety of cars and tracks available, all modelled to the finest detail. Every major North American track and a diverse selection of oval and road racing machines. And new ones are being added all the time. Whether you're a pro wanting to tune up for your next event, an amateur attempting to learn a new track, or someone who dreams of enjoying the thrills of high-speed competition, iRacing offers everything from practice to arrive and drive racing to World Championship competition. Check out iRacing.com to see how easy it is to get started. The next generation of racing is here.
Okay, everybody, we'd like to thank you for taking some time to join us today for this iRacing IndyCar Series press announcement. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce everybody who's sitting up here. To my furthest left, representing Dallara, Andrea Toso. Next to Andrea is Terry Angstead, the president of the commercial division for the IndyCar Series, and Justin Wilson, the driver, representing Dale Coyne Racing, and Dave Kemmer, the chief executive officer of iRacing, and our first speaker.
So my name is David Kemmer. I'm the CEO of iRacing.com, and I've spent the last 20 years of my life making these racing simulations. The video that you just saw, we find is a good way to introduce people to iRacing. There's so much to talk about and explain. It's a very succinct kind of introduction. The key thing about iRacing is that it couples a very sophisticated simulation with organized online racing, which really gives just about anybody and everybody a chance to drive a race car very conveniently from the comfort of their home. The main reason for our announcement here today is that we have signed a partnership with the IndyCar Series, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and Dallara Automobili to bring the Indy Lights cars and the Indy cars to iRacing.com, which I'm very excited about. It's one of the most exciting forms of racing that there is. It makes for a terrific experience for the driver with a great mix of venues, short ovals, speedways, road courses, all of which people will be able to do in iRacing.com. You know, now not just will everyone be able to race, they'll be able to race Indy cars. And for me, it's kind of a funny story. It comes full circle for me. The first simulation that I wrote over 20 years ago was an Indianapolis 500 simulation. And I brought along a video that is kind of an amusing comparison between where we were then and where we are now. You know, even back then, the technology was pretty primitive, but the focus I always had was on trying to create an interactive experience on the computer that would show people what it's like to drive a race car. Back then it was more difficult. The technology was pretty primitive in comparison with today. I don't know if any of you have heard of Moore's Law, dealing with the speed of development on computers. It states that computers will roughly double in capability, both speed and memory, about every 18 months. And if you work that over 20 years, that's a speed up of about a factor of 10,000, and about 10,000 times as much memory. And so it's pretty impressive to see where we've gotten to from the early days. So I thought we'd roll this video and show you. The first thing you're going to see is some footage from that early simulation Indy 500. And as you can see, it's pretty primitive. It's the resolution is pretty poor, very few colors. The audio on a lot of PCs was nothing more than the PC speaker. But even back then, again, this was one of the first 3D, out of the cockpit viewpoint simulations of racing. And that's probably just about enough there. But now as we move 20 years later, this is a little taste of what you'll see at iRacing.com. I mean, I need to almost remind you here that what you're looking at is not a video. It's actually the computer-generated graphics that you would see on your home PC. So you actually will be driving this car at Indianapolis for all intents and purposes. And that's what this partnership means is starting very soon. Next month, members at iRacing.com will be able to drive at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Starting in November, we'll be launching an IndyCar series, which will run with the Dallara IndyCar and on most of the venues that were raced this year. And finally, in May of next year, we're planning on doing a month of activities. We'll have an entire qualifying that people can do, the members, early in the month, and then it will culminate with an actual virtual Indy 500 that anyone will be able to drive in on Memorial Day weekend. And now at this point, I'm just going to hand the mic over to Justin Wilson. Justin is a longtime iRacing member, and he's done some test driving for us, and we're very happy to have him here to talk a little bit about what it's like to drive on the simulation.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, as Dave mentioned, I've been involved with helping out at iRacing for the last couple of years, I think it is, if not longer. But it's been a fun process to be involved with that and try and guide a little bit. It didn't take a lot of guiding because they've got a good idea of what it takes and what they are looking to do. So, from a driver's point of view, there's a few key areas, as it said in that intro video, that we're looking to get out of it. As a professional, you're looking for the accuracy and to go to a track and test before you actually go there in real life helps enormously. Whether it's a new track you're learning or just refreshing and getting ready for Sonoma here, we can go online and do that. And the accuracy is so important, and that's what iRacing have been able to achieve. It's not just the track layout and the radiuses of the corners are correct. It's the length of the straights. It's this background scenery. It's the curbs, the bumps. It goes down to the finest detail that makes a difference. And you can actually learn things on the simulator that you can bring to the racetrack, and it cuts down your learning time in the race car enormously. So, I think that's a massive benefit. There's so many different areas you can work on, whether it's a driver getting used to making changes on the race car and the setup. It's also very beneficial, and I've got a couple of things I learned a couple of days ago on iRacing that I'm waiting to try out on the race car still. It feels very similar, so I can actually make those changes, and given the opportunity, we'll make those changes in qualifying, and hopefully it'll help. So it's just very beneficial, and on top of that, of course, it's fun. It's the cheapest. It's the cheapest form of seat time you can get anyway. You can't get in a race car. You can't go to a school and do it for this kind of budget. So, it's great that you can get in, you can drive, and you can go online and race. And I think a lot of people are finding this, addictive and very fun.